As we start to get closer and closer to the end of the semester, there's going to be lots of final projects, lots of finals, tests, quizzes, big essays that students have to write. And so students will be using AI to assist them with this. Now, there's been plenty of different surveys and research that shows that more and more students, a majority of the students, are now using AI in some way to help them learn. So if we have this understanding that yes, students are using AI, yes, we can do certain things to help make our overall assignments and assessments more more understanding of that fact that students are using AI so that we can make better assignments and use better assessments. And I've talked about that in the past with the idea of the share technique. So I'll make a link to that where I'm talking directly about assignments and assessments. But today, what I really want to talk about is this idea of helping your students to use AI effectively, efficiently, and properly so that they don't fall into academic misconduct, right? So that's the whole idea of this video. How can I help my student to use AI in a proper way so that they can become better at using AI to develop these AI skills, but to still learn, to still gain foundational knowledge, to still use critical thinking. So that's the key here, is that we're trying to help the student learn to use AI properly and in a way that improves their agency, but doesn't fall into academic misconduct. So they have to learn this. Now, I have lots of peers, right? Lots of other professors and instructors that say, oh, I don't need to tell them anything about AI because they know more about it than I do. That's a false assumption, very, very false. Because although they might use AI a lot, that does not mean that they know how to properly use it. And that's where we need to come in as these instructors. We need to develop strong AI literacy ourselves so that we can properly help them to develop this. So there's a whole different playlist about AI literacy to develop that, but I'm going to hit on some specific things that we can do to help our students. Here recently, I got an email from Google Gemini, from that AI, talking about, hey, finals are coming. Here's how you can use AI in different ways to help you prepare to successfully pass your classes. And this was really interesting in what they did, in that in their email, they titled it as Brent, Prep for Finals with Gemini. Let's level up your study sessions. And then they had a multiple of different links that I could click on. One was Prep for Finals. When I click on that, what I get is sent directly to Gemini, where it already has a prompt filled in that says explain the concept of opportunity cost step by step so that I better understand it before my economics exam. So this is an interesting way of doing this in that it gives an example, right? Now I could just go in and change the topic to be something that I'm trying to prepare for my exams. The idea here is that it's giving an example. It's helping students to see, oh, okay, this is how I could use it. I could ask the AI to explain things to me so that I can better understand it. Along with this, we can explain to students about different aspects of cognitive load and the cognitive level. So I could say, hey, I'm trying to prepare for this class, for this assignment, for this big project, but I don't understand it. We're going to have a test about this, but I don't understand it. So please explain it to me again at this level, right? I could say, explain it to me as a high school level, as a middle school level, so that I can better understand it and then start to build upon it step by step. In the same way, I could say, hey, AI, opportunity cost, explain it to me and give me examples dealing with this, right? Let's say I'm into sports. Give me some sports examples dealing with opportunity costs so I can better understand it. Give me examples that pertain more to me, to my likes, to my interests. So now it's being personalized. So here's how we can help the student better use AI to maximize their ability to understand a concept. So again, providing them with examples like this. If you create a prompt and give it to that student, say, hey, if you're not fully understanding this, take this prompt, put it with the AI, and have it go through and explain it to you again. That way you can better understand this material. So that's one example that came from that interesting email from Gemini. But let me show you another one. Another one here is to create custom study guides. So clicking on this sends a prompt to the AI saying, first ask me to upload my course materials for my exams, then create study guides based on my course materials for my exams. That's really powerful because then it goes in and says, okay, yeah, I'll upload your notes, your course materials. whatever information you have, and then it will go through and create that actual study guide for you. Now, the study guide aspect, that's one example, and it can be formatted in any way that the student wants. You could put that within a prompt itself. If you're telling the student, you could give that material. You could say, hey, here's a file that I want you to upload. Here's a prompt that I want you to use. And in there, it could say about the formatting that you think would be proper or best for them to be able to create this great study guide. So there's many different ways you can do that. And study guide is just one, because you could tell the AI, hey, ask me questions one by one, let me answer, and then you evaluate. So there's different ways to do this to really have that student use AI in a way to help them prepare for the final exam, to help them prepare for a final project. So that's a great way there of creating a study guide. There's more as well. Another great one here that they demonstrate is when I click on this one saying learn step by step, get a detailed breakdown of complex topics to learn the how and why. So break it down. I click on that and it goes in and it sends the AI this prompt: explain the concept of DNA replication step by step so that I better understand it before my biology exam. And sure enough, it goes through, breaks it down step by step to help that person better understand the concept. But of course, to make it really powerful, we should say something as far as at what level, right? That should be part of the prompt. So we need to tell the student, hey, when you're putting this in, make sure you're specific. Say that you're putting in for a test that's going to be at a high school level, high school senior class, or no, we're now in college, so this needs to be at a sophomore level for this specific type of class. Again, the more specifics that we use, the better the result will be from our prompt. That's just good prompt engineering, which they would have learned if they had fully developed AI literacy, right? So again, you see how it all ties together. But right now, we're just trying to help the student maximize their agency in using AI properly and effectively without academic misconduct. So what we've done so far is just use the AI in a nice way that will help that student to better understand, to help them gain more clarity of the topic, breaking things down, creating a study guide, all these things to help the student. But now, what about direct feedback as they're trying to create content for a final project, for a final assignment? So this is where it becomes very interesting, and sort of we really have to be careful here, because what we don't want is a student to use AI to solve something for me, right? To write my essay for me. So we have to be careful here. Let me give you the example that Gemini had within the email. So here it says, get real-time feedback. Gemini can double check your answers for mistakes and explain them to you. So check my work. That's the example that they're using here. So when you click on that, what you get is check my calculations and see if I made any mistakes. If I did, explain them to me. Now that last bit there, that's extremely important. We need to make sure that we're formulating these prompts, and that's why I recommend that you give them example prompts. It should be something like, hey, check my results on this calculation. If there's an error or if there's something wrong, I want you to give me feedback on it, but do not give me the answer. That should be part of the prompt. That should be included so that there's no gray area as far as, oh yeah, it accidentally gave me the answer, because then that's academic misconduct. So we have to be very clear within the prompt itself. So we need to teach our students that this is how you use AI to help you. Because this would be the same as me going to, let's say, a math lab, or going to another professor and saying, hey, can you review this? Now that math professor isn't going to say, oh yeah, here's the answer. No, that math professor is going to be like, oh, here in step 3, you did this incorrectly. And then give them some guidance there, give her some understanding about what they did wrong, some actionable feedback, but not give the answer. So we have to be very careful when we're using AI, and we have to explain this to the student, because they're not going to know to put that in, and then they're going to be, it's a slippery slope to be easily using it to just get the answer. So we have to share this with them. We have to show them, hey, this is how you do it. Specifically say in that prompt, don't give me the answer. Now, that was an example about math, but let me share with you an actual prompt that I use with my students dealing with getting feedback for an actual essay. So here's the prompt. It simply states, please assume the role of a university English professor teaching freshman seminar. Use the attached rubric to evaluate my essay, also attached. For each rubric category, assign a tentative performance level, explain your evaluation in 2 to 3 sentences, provide specific actionable suggestions for improvement, reference at least one specific example from my essay to support your feedback. Do not rewrite any part of the essay. Focus only on feedback that helps me revise it myself. At the end, identify the top 3 priority areas I should revise first and explain why. So doing that gives me some great feedback. So here I am, I put it into an AI. I make sure to attach the specific files, right? I'm going to put in my essay as well as the actual rubric. And then I submit that, and sure enough, I get a breakdown of the different categories within the rubric, the evaluation, my overall performance, and then actionable suggestions, exactly what I should do to improve it without giving things away. It's not rewriting it for me. It's telling me some things that I need to do to improve. And it's giving me examples from my essay. This is what I'm doing. This is what I need to improve upon. And then because of the way that I formatted that prompt, there it's stating here are the top 3 priorities that you should focus on in order to really get the best overall score. Again, these are the top things to work on. Now that last example came from me, right? And that's using my advanced prompt formula. Again, link in the description to talking about this with the AI literacy in general, because making sure that we have good prompts is the key to this. So here's the advanced prompt formula, and you can see how it's broken down into these different sections. So that means that when I ask the AI a question, I'm considering all these different factors in a good advanced prompt. So in that example that I gave you, as far as what I tell students to use to get feedback on their actual essay, I'm being very specific. I'm giving it instructions. There's the task. I'm telling it to assume a certain role. Why? Because I don't want general feedback. I want feedback that would come from, let's say, a university professor, right? That's the type of feedback that I want. So I'm being very specific there. And then I'm going through and telling it what to do and what not to do. Do not rewrite this for me. Why? Because that would be academic misconduct. But I still need actionable feedback. Now, the type of feedback, the type of interaction that I'm doing here is the exact same thing that I would do with a peer, with an instructor, with going to the writing lab. That's what I'm going for as far as using AI as this assistant to give me greater agency to help me with my assignment, but being very clear and specific to not write it for me. Don't do this for me. I don't want cognitive offloading. I don't want to reduce my critical thinking capabilities. No, I want to learn. I want to develop. I want to improve my capabilities. So by using AI in this way, now I'll be able to do that. Now I'll be able to enhance. Now, I'm saying all this, but I don't want pushback, because what happens is that when I tell this to some instructors, they're like, well, no, I don't want them to use AI at all. They need to be coming to me, or they need to be coming to going to the writing lab. This doesn't negate that. I'm in full support of that as well. I want my students to come to me, and I tell them, come to me. But there's different ways that they could use this prompt. One is that if they're waiting to the last moment to do an essay and they need feedback, this would be a great way to do that. Heaven forbid a student waits to the last moment, right? That happens. So this is a great tool, because what usually happens for a lot of cases, and again, look at the research dealing with cheating, is that they they don't see any other way, right, except to cheat. Why? Because they don't have access to the resources. Oh, they waited to the last moment, so now it's, almost midnight. They have to turn this in at a certain time, and you're not available as the instructor because they can't contact you at midnight. They can't go to the writing center at midnight. So now this is another resource, not a cheating tool, a resource to help them to go through this in the proper way, to help them to get feedback, actionable feedback that isn't cheating. So this is why we have to teach this to students. This is why we need to understand that AI is much more than a simple cheating tool. No, it's so much more. It's everything and anything that we want it to be if we know how to use it in the proper way. It can be a mentor, it can be a peer, it can be a coach, all these things that are available through the AI, but we have to use it properly. We have to have this AI literacy, prompt engineering, in order to use it effectively and ethically. So that's why I really am pushing for this, for all of us to understand AI, to develop AI literacy, and then to help our students by showing them these things, by helping them with these prompts and showing them this is a better way to use it. This is a way where, guess what, you're going to get an education and not simply reduce your critical thinking capabilities and not gain the skills. Because ultimately they have to understand that yes, developing AI skills is great, using AI is great, but your ability to use that AI won't improve unless you also develop subject matter expert capabilities, right? Because if I get a return from that AI, but I don't know how to properly evaluate it, then I'm not going to be very useful. I can get by on some levels of just using AI, but in order to really advance, I need to become subject matter expert so that I can use AI, so I can do so much more, gain so much better capabilities. So I could use AI to write an essay for me, but only if I have the capability to properly process what it created to say, oh no, let me modify this, let me enhance this. But I'm not at that level yet if I'm still learning how to write an essay. So we need to make sure that we're properly helping our students to see that, to understand that, and then to use AI to improve their agency, to be able to go through it, to be able to succeed in all these different ways. So I hope that helps. I hope that we have an opportunity to discuss this. If you have different ideas, different suggestions, please share that within the comment section. And please be sure to subscribe, share, and like so that we can continue to help spread the word about developing AI literacy and using AI in an effective way to help everyone. All right. Thank you, everyone. And remember, learning is for life. I appreciate everyone watching this video. Thank you so much. You mean the world to me. And it's really important that we continue to grow so that we can help more and more people with AI literacy, more and more students, more and more faculty, staff, everyone involved, so that we can use AI in the right way. To support this channel, please share this with everyone, as well as purchase books, go through the online course for AI literacy to get a certificate in that. And thank you so much for your time, as always. Bye-bye.